The suspect remains hospitalized under heavy guard. In the wake of the attack, President Trump has halted all asylum applications.
Yeah, they're using this as an opportunity to halt all asylum applications. This is great. It's awesome. It's just so unimaginably racist. Yeah, bro assimilated too good is right. That's exactly what happened. Like, how is this any different than the dude who popped Chris Kyle? You know what I mean? Say such
New
things.
details in the deadly National Guard ambush investigation. Ramanullah Lakanawal of Afghanistan facing murder in the first degree after 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom died from gunshot wounds.
Yeah, I can't get over the whole, you know, we're dealing with drug traffickers at the highest level here. And that's why we have to bomb Venezuela, while simultaneously in the same weekend, I cannot believe that in the same weekend he pardoned the former president of Honduras, who got like what 50 years for drug trafficking, like convicted drug trafficker. They're dabbing on us. How can you look at this as anything but they're dabbing on us? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You have to be doing it on purpose, right? It's like, haha, what are you going to do, bitch? Yeah, they're just flexing, right? This has to be a flex. I don't know. They're teabagging. They're teabagging. It's BM. It's BM. Like, maybe don't do this right now. You know, maybe do it like a year later after you have already been in the depths of bombing Venezuela to combat narco trafficking, as you have claimed. Because one's an actual convicted drug trafficker. The other one, you're just kind of making up. You're just kind of saying is a drug trafficker, but you don't even have your heart in it.
Sustained when he allegedly opened fire on her and her fellow West Virginia National Guardsman, Andrew Wolf. Over the weekend, a candlelight vigil to mourn Beckstrom, along with a solemn honor escort near the U.S. Capitol. Wolf, who is only 24, remains at a D.C. area hospital with serious wounds.
Andrew is fighting for his life right now.
The FBI has interviewed family and associates of the 29-year-old suspect and tried to exploit documents and other material obtained through searches of mobile devices, his social media footprint, and properties tied to him.
We believe he could have been radicalized in his home community and in his home state.
But thus far, authorities have not publicly released any specific evidence tying the suspect to a specific terrorist organization. And while the investigation into potential terrorism ties remains active, officials say they're also seeing signs of financial stress and a potential mental health crisis. Sources telling ABC News Lakanawal was vetted by and worked with the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. He was brought into the U.S. administration through the program Operation Allies Welcome and was granted asylum by the Trump administration in...
One of the crazier parts of this is they keep saying that, like, oh, he was radicalized in the United States of America post-vetting. It's like, no, he was radicalized when he was 15 years old and the CIA groomed him to be a death squad mercenary. Yeah, the terrorist organization that he was affiliated with is the American terrorist organization of the CIA.
April, law enforcement...
Like, this is a picture-perfect representation of the hogification, right? This guy is just like any other American veteran experiencing PTSD, many of which have done damn near identical crimes on U.S. soil this past year. The only difference is he was Afghan. He's an Afghan national. Like, instead of going through the regular route of being like a poor guy living in Nebraska or something and doing ROTC, and then, I don't know, instead of going, I guess ROTC, you just go into the officer's program, but like instead of ROTC, you just like, you fantasize about joining the military, you become a Marine, and then you go to Afghanistan and do crimes, and then you come back home and you snap. He's just the Afghan version of this. I don't understand. Like, people are making it seem like this is a totally different issue. The asylum application literally asks if you've been a part of a paramilitary group who has committed significant harm or is a disqualifier. No way should he have been granted. What are you talking about? Chatter. He was doing it for the CIA. He was a contractor for the American government. He wasn't doing it for what? The point here is not that he was granted asylum. Not that he was granted asylum. The point of the problem is that this zero unit exists to begin with. Like, the issue is that the issue starts not at the point of like letting people like this into the country. The issue starts at the fact that units like this even exist, or even American military presence exists in Afghanistan.
Sources telling ABC News he was unemployed and deeply impacted by the of one of his Afghan commanders. Sources say in recent days he had been isolated and increasingly distant from family and friends. The suspect remains hospitalized under heavy guard. In the wake of the attack, President Trump has halted all asylum applications.
Yeah, they're using this as an opportunity to halt all asylum applications. This is great. It's awesome. It's just so unimaginably racist. Yeah, bro assimilated too good is right. That's exactly what happened. Like, how is this any different than the dude who popped Chris Kyle? You know what I mean? Two military veterans. They're going to the shooting range, and one of them snaps and just ends up killing Chris Kyle. You know? Do we just go, oh, wow, we really got to reconsider white people, you know, doing this kind of thing? No, of course not. It's not any different than the I feel like Batman or Halo guy that blew up the Turo rental Cybertruck outside of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas the first day of the Trump administration. It's no different than the Marine guy who drove his F-150 pickup truck into a Mormon church and tried to blow it up. That happened like last month. The New Orleans guy who was also another, you know, Green Beret slash, he was like another intelligence guy as well. He was also in the U.S. military who, in New Orleans, who went and did an act of domestic terror. He was also brown. I think he was like also, was he also Afghan, of Afghan descent? I can't remember, but he was an American citizen in the American military. The boat attack guy in North Carolina. Or yeah, he was the IT guy or something, right? I can't remember. He was not Afghan. What was his background? I think he was like Muslim. I think he was a Muslim convert. Oh, okay. I'm mixing up my fucking U.S. soldiers, U.S. veterans snapping on U.S. soil and committing acts of domestic terror. They melt into one another at this point, you know? They literally just fucking melt into one another. How am I supposed to figure out who's who? There's so many fucking cases. That's kind of the point. The point is, this happens all the fucking time, as a matter of fact. And it seems like this administration never wants to let an opportunity, a crisis opportunity, go to waste. So, given this guy's background as an Afghan national, and this administration's interest in like stopping all flows of migration and all asylum seekers to make a point about how migrants are responsible for endless amounts of violence, they're just using this as an opportunity to do an asylum freeze.
And we start with a Fox News alert. Right now, a National Guardsman is fighting for his life in critical condition this morning after allegedly being shot by an Afghan national on Thanksgiving Eve.
So it comes as officials revealed that the suspect was likely radicalized while living in the United States.
And we knew about him going.
Yeah, here, Rolling Stones actually went deeper into this, by the way. Rolling Stones reviewed a screenshot of the group chat in June where zero-unit veterans shared information with the CIA representative about ongoing issues. Lockenwall posted messages asking for help. His last post went unanswered and was deleted by the chat's administrator. Yeah, a fellow unit member describes how the alleged D.C. National Guard shooter felt abandoned by the CIA. He'd say, I'm working 9 years or 10 years with the U.S. government. They never answer my phone call. This is literally, like, I'm sorry, any veteran that says they don't understand exactly what happened here is just fucking lying, okay? This is such a common story. The only difference is this dude is an Afghan national. That's it. And not, like, homegrown, okay? That's the only difference. What the fuck are we doing? We broke this man starting when we made him a child soldier at just 15. The only reason we care about him now is because his choice wasn't to anonymously kill himself like the other 22 veterans who commit suicide in this country on a daily basis. Yep. Yeah, if only they'd given him a lock for his gun case. Yeah, exactly. Which is what you can look forward to if you're a veteran with crippling PTSD and suicidal tendencies. You know? You won't get the adequate mental health treatment, of course, but they'll give you a free gun case, or not even a gun case, but a lock for a gun case that you have to purchase on your own, of course. But be sure to put a photo of your family in that gun case as well, so that that last second decision stops you dead in your tracks. The additional 30 seconds required to unlock the gun case can be a difference in life and death. It's true. That is literally the American VA's solution to 22 a day veteran suicides. Isn't that fucking nuts? I'm not, like, it sounds so dystopian, and it sounds like I'm making it up. And to be fair, I thought it was insane until I saw the ad. They used to run those ads on my broadcast. The VA used to run those ads on my broadcast. It's not 22 a day now. I think it's like 14 or 15 or 17. I don't fucking know the exact number now, but anyway, but yeah, no, look no further than how this is Brandon's fault or how it's the fault of Afghanistan or anybody else, really.
Off the rails as early as 2023. Madeline Rivera joins us live in Washington with the latest. Maddie.
Hi, good morning. 24-year-old Andrew Wolf remains in the hospital today where he is surrounded by family members. His parents say their son is a fighter and they're asking for prayers.
You know, I had a chance to be at the hospital yesterday, and I want to tell you something. When you go there, sometimes when you go to a hospital, a lot of people are very concerned. People certainly are here. But the positive energy, the spirit that the families bring to bear, that his friends have, everyone is rooting for him so hard to make it to that next level. And it's really encouraging to see.
Communities in West Virginia have been holding vigils for 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom, who passed away on Thanksgiving. President Trump says he wants to meet with Beckstrom's parents.
I said, when you're ready, because it's a tough thing, come to the White House. We're going to honor Sarah. And likewise with Andrew, recover or not, we're going to honor her.
Investigators have been working around the clock going through the background of the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakhanwal. They've yet to say what drove Lakhanwal, an Afghan national who once worked with the CIA, to allegedly travel cross-country to carry out this attack.
We believe he was radicalized since he's been here in this country. We do believe it was through connections in his home community and state, and we're going to continue to talk to those who interacted with him. Anyone who has information on this needs to know that we will be coming after you, and we will bring you to justice.
Another Afghan national is facing state terror charges in Texas after DHS says he plotted to make a bomb with the intention of targeting the Fort Worth area. He was arrested on Tuesday, the day before the shooting in D.C. Lawrence, Ainsley, and Brian.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Maddie. So we're learning more and more about this guy, including that there were signs. If he ever belonged here is one thing. You know, he worked for the CIA, that zero unit. I understand that. But because the CIA said he was all right to work with and fight with, doesn't mean he's okay to live here. But let's just say that.
What? Yeah. Why are we bringing these killers to U.S. On U.S. soil?
They thought he was okay to live here because he worked with that unit. Well, by 2023, they say it became pretty clear that he was off the rails. He was depressed. He had no.
Okay, well, it was the Trump administration that actually granted him asylum. So what the fuck are we talking about? Like, how do you make sense of that? Like, he was someone working within the CIA. I thought this was an example of the best kind of migrant, the best kind of asylum seeker. You know, a guy who did a lot of contracted killing of civilians for us. Sure, he got a little depressed, but, you know, I like that absolutely no one is asking the question, why the fuck do we have a special unit designed to shoot up hospitals and schools in Afghanistan that the CIA controls, that is entirely comprised of Afghan nationals? What the fuck is happening? Let alone asking the question, why are we in Afghanistan? Why were we in Afghanistan? I thought we established that was dumb. Nope.
Job. In fact, friends said, or acquaintances
why were we working with 15-year-olds? Why was the CIA grooming 15-year-olds to make them murder monsters?
Then they said he has 5 kids. They said when his wife would go and visit relatives, they said the kids would come to school with dirty clothes, then they'd be dirty clothes, unwashed, and hungry. And they reported this to the school and to Health and Human Services, their local unit there. But there's no sense of anyone trying to close the circle to try to take action.
Take action by what? Deporting him? He's not even saying take action by like offering mental health services. He's literally saying, why did nobody realize that he was depressed and therefore deport him immediately? I hope that at least the veterans, maybe the veterans in this community can understand it, but like I hope the veterans watching Fox News can at least, at least the ones that were in Afghanistan that have like some level of respect for the Afghan nationals that they worked alongside, that, they see the disdain that Fox News has for you as well. I know it's difficult for you to put yourself in the shoes of a brown guy, but that is what it is. I mean, he is literally saying like the way to deal with these fucking pesky vets is, take care of them, jail them ahead of time, apprehend them, let God sort it out.
They would realize this guy was off the rails back then.
Well, so to your initial point about us working with him.
And also, ironically enough, even if this is the argument, the Trump administration is responsible for allowing him to get asylum. So what are we talking about?
In the CIA, I mean, this is very common. They're not sometimes the most model citizens that we work with, but we have a common enemy. And so we typically work with people that are in the inside. But to the point of when he came back home, okay, so they noticed that he's going crazy, and they realized that he's not showing up to his check-ins, which are required for him to be here. Why didn't anyone do anything? The whole point of a check-in is to keep tabs on the person. What is the process when the person doesn't do
he ends up
the
getting
check-in?
asylum.
Exactly.
Even though he's off the rails, he gets asylum. What the hell happened?
Kristi Noem said his vetting process all happened under Joe Biden. She described the screening of Afghans and other foreign nationals under Biden as inadequate. Now Trump has strengthened the vetting process for anyone coming over.
Wait. It's not, they're just, what? But it happened under Trump. The confirmation came under Trump. Hey, first timer here, you're a douche. Thanks, chatter. This shit don't add up.
Or coming into our country that's an immigrant, including reviewing social media and checking to see who they interact with, because Kristi Noem says this guy was radicalized when he got here to America, but he had connections.
They're trying to say that the vetting took place under Biden, Trump. Just believe the Biden team, and it's all of their fault. That's a move for sure. Yeah, this is pretty cool. You just fucking lie, and then that's it, right? All you need to do is just lie and say, no, Brandon did this.
To his home community, and they're talking.
As long as you can find a way to tie everything back to Joe Brandon, then I guess like there are people at least in the Trump orbit that will agree with it and say, yeah, that seems good to me. As long as my beautiful president's reputation and his administration is not tarnished in any capacity, I couldn't stand for that. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it was Brandon. Brandon did this. Okay, good. I believe it.
Talking with family members and to find out who he was interacting with. Trump also said he's going to impose additional restrictions on migrants. He's going to stop all immigrants from third world countries, and he doubled down on that. No asylum for some nations for a long time, he says, possibly. Right. Brian interviewed C.J. Douglas, Marine veteran, helped with the Afghanistan rescues.
Yeah, so he was called out of retirement to help out in Doha and screen these people. And then they said, would you co-author the What Went Wrong in Kabul and Abbey Gate? So he did that, tried to brief Joe Biden on it. First he said, can't do a half hour. He goes, well, we'll knock it out in 15 minutes. Then Joe Biden said, no, I can't even do 15 minutes. Just leave it for me. So there's no indications that Joe Biden even read it. But meanwhile, he knew about the vetting. He was trying to do it in real time on a tarmac in Qatar. Here's what he said about Afghanistan and the...
Okay, none of this has anything to do with the Trump administration accepting his asylum application. We have moved so far beyond the initial point of contention, the initial lie that they told, and now they're just talking about other shit as long as they can keep talking about Joe Biden somehow. They're not even doing a good enough job with this, where they're just like, yeah, well, Biden didn't listen to the report from this other guy who was talking about Abbey Gate and the scandal that was our failure of a failure to leave Afghanistan. Like, okay, the fuck does that have to do with anything?
This still goes back to the Biden administration's failure to hold the Taliban to the conditions-based withdrawal. Because, as I've told you previously, I would rather fight them over there than have them here on our shores and have, American citizens have to be concerned about everyday life. I'm for the freezing, and what I would say is with that, what we need to do is look at how we are going to assist the current population we have, and then as well.
So Secretary Noam now admits that there was no vetting failure under President Biden, despite repeating this endlessly and using it as a justification for shutting down all legal immigration of Afghan immigrants. National Guard shooting suspect radicalized in the U.S., Homeland Secretary says, as of today. Noam was DHS Secretary when his asylum application was approved in April. So if there was a vetting failure, it was by her department in April, not by Biden. It doesn't even make sense to say that this is like the Biden administration's fault and failure. Like, how does that even make any sense? You're the one, your admin is the one that actually vetted him.
How we're going to tighten up the screening process for future people coming from third world countries that don't have the ability to screen people as they're coming.
Quickly on.
But they're not. It's not them that are screening. It's not only our government that participates in the screening process, but it was specifically this administration that approved this person's asylum application. Okay? And once again, it's not even the fact that this person is on U.S. soil is not the major point of contention here. Okay? Because this guy did what many veterans have done as well, and he just seemingly fucking snapped. He felt like he didn't get any coverage or any help from the government after years and years, after a decade of service, which of course was to murder his own countrymen, okay? And for that, they allowed him to come to the United States of America, and then they did nothing. It's the same exact thing that they do to American veterans as well, who then also end up snapping in a similar way and killing a bunch of people.
The radicalization, since they're saying that it happened home, and I'm learning this from a lot of my veteran friends who have contacts within people that served. They served in Afghanistan, and they know some of the people that have since come to the United States that were on that plane, on the multiple planes. And they say that a lot of them are upset about how they're being treated here in America, and they thought there were going to be more resources. But as my veteran friends have made it very clear to them, how do you think American vets are treated when they come back home? We still...
What the fuck? Bro, yeah. Okay. That's... What? Are they doing the thing where they're like, oh, what about the homeless veterans? Whenever people talk... Dude, that's the point. They're trying to be like, well, we treat our own American veterans like shit. Of course we're going to treat Afghan veterans like shit. Okay, don't you think that nobody should be treated like shit? Hello?
People that are in the middle of the street that are not getting services and all that. So there's a vetting...
Yeah, don't tell that to Brian Kilme, okay? Hey, don't remind Brian Kilme that there are homeless veterans on the streets. He's about to see red. Last time you brought up homelessness in front of Brian Kilme, he talked about how every single one of them should be murdered. So, you know, he's holding on. He's white knuckling. He's like, oh, don't bring up homeless veterans. I want to spit on them. I want to spit on them after I shoot them dead. I'm Brian Kilme. I'm Brian Kill 'em all.
Component of this, and then people that are upset that they thought that they were overseas and they feel like they're not treated fairly. Our own veterans aren't treated fairly when they come back home. Many of them are on the streets and depressed and struggling with suicide as well.
They don't understand our society.
No,
period.
they don't.
They don't understand that you get.
Oh yeah, they don't. Yeah, no, they don't understand our society. Period. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so what happens when like an American homegrown veteran snaps in a similar fashion? What then? What now? Do those guys not understand our society either? Because he just basically admitted that this is just a common meta. This is the common problem, which is what I've been saying all along. He's just like, Brian Kilme's like, but okay, you're talking about our lack of resources for our fucking veterans, but also I need to remind you, this man is Afghan, okay? He is different. He is from Afghan. He's from Afghanistan, okay? So it's a different type of veteran.
Your success is generated from yourself.
Right.
And they don't understand our society at all. And there's got to be immediate action taken because evidently they were handed 1.5 million people on this immigration asylum list for the Bidens go, yeah, we haven't even looked at this list yet. So they're here, 1.5 million, and we have not been able to screen a year in, not even a year into this administration.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade. It is Election Day in Tennessee tomorrow.
Oh, this is exciting news. Obviously, we got our girl Afton.